Hi guys. Okay, so I wanted to make this video. I wanted to do a chart of somebody famous. This isn't going to be like an in-depth reading or a channeled natal chart reading on a celebrity or any future predictions. I basically just wanted to go over, what is this change regarding Mark Wahlberg and the way he kind of presents himself publicly now. If you guys know anything about him, I would say maybe, I don't know, I want to say last year or two, he's been very public about his religion. I mean, we've always known him to be, I'm pretty positive Catholic. I don't think it's Christian. And yes, there is a difference between the two. But he hasn't been so vocal as he has been the last year or two. If you look at his social media page, he's constantly like talking about it, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, I feel like people who remember who he used to be probably like don't understand this. Like they would think, oh, he's going through something or he's lost his mind, because it's the complete opposite as we remember him, like the way he used to behave, the way he used to act. I mean, yeah, he's been a family man for, oh my God, I remember the day I found out he was having a child. Like, I was so sad because I've been in love with him since 1997. I think it was 2003, if I'm not mistaken, is when he started a family, pretty much. So it's been a while. However, I wanted to talk about this, how we all have duality in us, obviously, right? But how, our second Saturn return really does show up in our life where we're never going to be the same person. Like whoever we are today, once we turn 50, or for some of us, it may be a little bit before or a little bit after, there will be this kind of like a shakeup. And how that manifests depends on your chart, okay? And for Mark Wahlberg, it manifested in a very spiritual way. From what I see in his chart, he pretty much didn't really step into his, I want to say his full purpose. It's like he stepped into part of it, getting into Hollywood through family, having this confidence and being this little playboy. I don't know if you guys remember, he literally wrote a book and dedicated it to his dick. He was a Calvin Klein model. I mean, he used to be a rapper. I mean, he was quite the bad boy. He was it for a while. And then he got this family and he had children and he got domesticated, right? He settled down. And honestly, all this makes sense to me if you know about his family growing up. He didn't grow up in the best area in Massachusetts. I believe is he one of 9 or one of 12? I don't remember now. But, regardless, it's that typical East Coast Irish Catholic mentality. I'm pretty positive he's Irish. I'm like 90% positive. I know he's a mix. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that it doesn't surprise me that he's going in a different direction now. After, I think he's 52 or 53, or he's going to be 53. So he's very, very into talking about God now and making these videos on his social media pages about, did you pray to God, or, something like that. And now he is a Gemini. And if you guys know anything about Gemini energy, it does depend it depends what's going on in your chart, but you can be very business oriented in the sense that you like your hands in a lot of different places. And that's the problem with mutable energy, is that when you have multiple skills, you can turn everything into a business, okay? And he can do this because he has the money, he has the resources, he has the people. So he can do this. And if you guys follow him, you know he literally does this. He has a brand with tequila. He has a clothes brand. He's an actor. He has a water line. A lot of other things. Okay. So the fact that he's throwing in religion and spirituality on his business profile, instead of keeping it private. Maybe I'm old school that way. It could be the way I was raised, but it's also showing up in his profile too. I mean, his astrology chart as well. It's a bit dicey to mix the two. If you're business oriented, you know what I'm talking about. But since we're changing when it comes to society, people are becoming more open-minded now. So things are changing when it comes to that. The things you can say nowadays while you're clocked in to customers, to clients, and get away with it. It's like appalling, disgusting, but whatever. I guess, because we understand people are people at the end of the day, we're more open to things. So my point to this is that why does he feel the need to spread the word of God so much? Okay, like what is up with this? I don't know. Like I saw it, and I really didn't think too much of it. I just thought, wow, he's like very public about it. So what I see here in his chart is that, yeah, he definitely accomplished his North Node to some degree, because he has the North Node in 17 degrees, which one way this could manifest, because it's speaking of Leo energy, is definitely, making it to Hollywood. And we see this with his rising sign being in 12 degrees. This is speaking of Pisces energy, Neptune. This will speak of Hollywood. And then if you look at his midheaven, look at that, Pisces. And since his rising sign is in Cancer, well, if you guys know him, he made it in Hollywood through family. Obviously, this is just one part of his story in regards to his rising sign. There's so many different stories we can get through astrology, but that's just one that we are witnessing right here. So he technically did accomplish this, right? If we look at the second house, it's in Leo. Leo, again, is how we see him, and we see him as a star. We see him as this movie Hollywood star, and this is how he makes his money. The second house, his wallet, the things he owns and things he values. And sure enough, he actually has this second house in 1 degree. Okay, and that second house is connected to the 8th house axis. So literally, that North Node being in 17 degrees speaks of being in front of people, right? Being in front of the people. And this is what he values. However, if you're paying attention, that South Node would then be in Leo, right? What does the South Node teach us? The South Node is what you need in order to get to your North Node, right? There's this misunderstanding that you need to stay away from it. To some degree, that is true. It's because you've already done that energy before. You have experience with it. You're comfortable with it. You already know it. However, you need that energy to get to your North Node. So he could have been famous in a past life before. He could have been well known in a past life. So technically, it's not that he didn't accomplish part of his purpose, his meaning, but it's like his second Saturn return, because that would happen around the age of 50, and he's going to be, I think, 53. His bigger purpose would be to be of service as a leader for the people, the collective, humanity, and it would take place on the internet. He feels very passionately about this. He feels he would be of value. Okay. He feels, because he feels, some kind of way about himself. He's a very confident individual, but he's also very spiritual. He's very religious. That is very authentic. I think to some degree he always has been. However, this took on more of a stronger energy. I believe it was slowly catching on, especially more so once he had his first child, because there's the first house being in Cancer and his seventh house being in Capricorn. And he has Saturn, literally, which is the ruler of Capricorn, in 28 degrees, which is a Cancer degree. So it's like he would feel like a man of authority by being a father, by having his own home with a family. So it's like this kicked in, this life purpose of his. It's slowly Capricorn energy, but surely started I don't know, I want to say seeping into his mind of what it is he actually values, okay? And it turned out it wasn't just Leo energy. What originally belongs to the second house? It's Taurus, right? So if we look at Taurus, we see that there's 3 planets here. So this is a stellium. There's a lot of people out there that don't believe 3 planets would be a stellium. I do. Okay. 3 planets is a lot. It's a lot of energy in one specific planet. One specific zodiac sign. So yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Usually most people turn astrology into a belief system anyway, right? This is what people do. People are people. So he has Saturn, Venus, and Mercury all up in Taurus's business in the 11th house. However, his 11th house technically is in Aries in 1 degree. So he feels very strongly that there is this calling, because again, Mars, right, is the ruler of Aries. And he has it in Aquarius. So because Mars is conjunct his north node, which makes you very driven to accomplish this, and especially because he has it in Aquarius, he would be very competitive with himself because it's in his 8th house, which is his inner world, and his 8th house is in 1 degree himself, Aries energy. So he feels very called to lead us, like people, to get in touch with their roots, because he has Saturn in Taurus in 28 degrees. Again, 28 degrees belongs to Cancer energy, the home, where we come from. And then he has Mercury in 26 degrees. This is Taurus energy. This is Venus energy. And then he has Venus in 21 degrees in Taurus. 21 degrees speaks of Sagittarius energy. This is literally spirituality, whatever it is you guys believe in. So he feels very much inclined to take responsibility with his communication to the people, about his love for God, about his unconditional love, about this, I want to say this, like this unconditional love that is within all of us, that we're all capable of tapping into. Like, this is how he feels, and he wants to communicate this to us, literally us, in a grounding way. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you see these thick red lines? That means there's tension, there's friction. He, from what I channeled and what I believe, because it's stemming from this 8th house and he's tapping into that north node, he does not, like, this takes a lot for him. This takes a lot for him to make this public, despite him being this Hollywood actor. It's like him talking about something so personal, especially religion. And I feel like he was in a sense, raised in the way that I was raised, where it's like politics and religion, you speak about these things at home, you don't speak about these things publicly. There's something to that effect. But you know how there's those people out there that feel that talk about this calling, that they feel that they were called upon from God. And then it's like we all look at them like they're crazy. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you're the chosen one, you know. But there's actually something to that. And I guarantee you, if you guys were to look at those people's charts, they either have like high Neptune energy, high Pisces energy, and it doesn't mean that it's illusions, deception. Like they really could be tapping into source energy, and they really are being called to spread, like, not necessarily the word of God, but something positive to put out there, to people to believe in, because people need something to believe in. And the truth of the matter is, I'm telling you right now, as somebody who channels, there really is stuff to believe in out there. Like, it's not like when we die, lights out. Like, there really is, there's truth to this. So I truly believe he believes he is sacrificing himself, okay, for the people, and he's driven to do this, and he's doing it online. Like I said, he feels, because of his reputation, like who he is as a, quote unquote leader, as somebody who has a reputation already, somebody who is a celebrity, Leo, somebody who is in Hollywood. He already has status, so he can make this a thing. His Neptune is literally in Sagittarius, and it's in 1 degree, Aries, the self. And if you guys look at this, he's got Neptune and Jupiter in retrograde. This is talking about Neptune energy, because Jupiter is the original ruler of Pisces. So there is this energy of this happening later on in his life. Okay. And on top of that, he has Jupiter in 29 degrees. This is Leo energy, but it's also very karmic. 29-degree people are constantly, there's a lot of famous people that have 29 degrees in their chart, but obviously not everybody who's a 29-degree person is necessarily famous, but usually they are known, or they're some type of leader, because they have experienced in this from past lives. Like they have been known in past lives for leading in some type of way, because again, this is big Leo energy. So the fact that he has this in Scorpio, it's like he genuinely believes and goes big in transformation publicly. So for example, like me personally, I was curious looking at his chart when I saw Mars in the 8th house. I was like, whoa, I can't believe, I totally can believe he's a Mars in 8th house person. But what was shocking to me was that he's able to be so physically in shape. Usually when you have Mars in the 8th house, this is talking about your physical body and how you're able to take care of it. But when you have it in the 8th house, it's very hard to keep up with routines and being in shape, because it's like picture the energy and the willpower you need to keep up with exercise and a regimen. Like picture being tired. You know what I mean? Like it's like the energy you need is trapped inside of you. I don't know how to like articulate this. But it's you have to work harder in order to externalize that energy. And the reason is that Mars traditionally belongs in that first house. It's who you guys are externally to the world. It's what people are seeing about you. So when you guys are working on your body, keeping up with a physical workout exercise, that is happening physically, like on the physical plane. But the 8th house is your internal world. These are our thoughts. These are the things going on inside our body that we can feel. These are the things we feel that are going on behind our back, okay? So if we have that energy of feeling the need to exercise, it's like trapped inside and it's having a hard time getting out. So I channeled this because I was like, how the hell is he able to be so in shape? This makes no sense to me. Because he really is. He's so in shape, and he's always been in shape, if you guys remember him from the very beginning. So wait, hold on. I had to look at this. I'm sorry, this is a little off topic. But okay, so his 12th house has the sun in it, which is also, it takes on the same energy, what I just said. It is your physical manifestation, like how you exert yourself in the world, your higher self, your self-expression, and it's in the 12th house. So this are another thing, by the way, this talks about somebody who will, if not if he's not spiritual, he will be at some point, because this is what the sun in the 12th house speaks of. So yeah, definitely genuine, definitely real, despite it being in Gemini. A lot of people don't understand Gemini energy because of the duality. We all have duality. But he has his 12th house in 6 degrees. 6 degrees speaks of the 6th house, which talks about how you take care of your body. How do you take care of your physical health, your mental well-being? So because he has his sun, his battery, his higher consciousness constantly like in his mind, and the fact that it's in Gemini, which is a bunch of words, a bunch of thoughts, it's like his higher self is constantly telling him, go work out, go work on yourself. And since he values himself, he literally does. He values the sun, and the sun is him. And he has so much Taurus degrees going on, which points back to the 2nd house and how he, wants to, be valued and appreciated. Nowadays, it's for his mind and his thoughts on different things, but at one point it was also his body. Okay, it was definitely his body, his physical physique. But yeah, there's something about him actually enjoying transforming his body and expanding it. This is what I was seeing. He literally likes seeing his body, like with his muscles, expand. I thought that was interesting. So yeah. Anyway, getting back to this, so the 6th house also can speak of healing. How do you guys heal yourselves? And for him, it's very psychological. Look at this. It's in 20 degrees. Okay, getting back to this whole him going public, him talking about religion, mixing it with business. This connects back to his home life, how he was raised. He has his 4th house in Virgo. Virgo energy talks about being of service, and he has Pluto and Uranus here. This could speak of that maybe growing up. Yeah, maybe like it was tough because of his upbringing, and there were so many siblings. So maybe his mother had to work harder to afford, a roof over their head and whatnot. But there's something also going on about his mother being of service to people. Like, because Uranus is in Libra and it's in 9 degrees. So, and from what I remember about his mom, she seems like somebody who always wanted to help people, if I'm not mistaken. So again, 9 degrees is Sagittarius energy, and he has Sagittarius in, oh wait, hold on, 4, 5, 6. He is part of Sagittarius in the 6th house. Honestly, no, I'm not even gonna. He has a lot of Sagittarius in the 6th house. He is mainly Libra in the 4th house, but hold on. I know how he heals, how he transforms himself. Yeah, no. It is Sagittarius. Okay. I'm overthinking it. Sorry. So Sagittarius energy. So yeah, the mother, the 4th house is in Virgo, and traditionally it belongs to the 6th house, and they have he has Sagittarius there. So she was probably somebody who was of service to groups of people, like in their local neighborhood is what I'm getting. And she was probably some type of influential person there because Pluto is a leader. It's a powerful person. And she was very much loved. And I do remember that about her. I do. Yeah, so Pluto's in a Venus degree. Yeah, it's in Virgo. That just means like she was constantly pushing people to like to transform, to be their best. Like, you can do better, you can do this, you can do that. And she may have done it in a very like religious type of way, like, what do you think your calling is? What do you think God would want you to do? Something like that. But yeah, I'm also getting this other message though, that regarding him being so public about his religious stance, and like, just not that he really takes on a stance. If you think about it, he's not hurting anybody. He's just more public about what he believes in. And all he's saying is, like, did you pray today? Something like that. He's not forcing anybody to do anything. But this thick red line, I'm sorry, I don't think I finished my point before. That's my Gemini energy kicking in. What I was seeing was, besides like not really feeling too comfortable sharing this publicly, I feel like that's Saturn kicking in. There's something about, he may at some point, want to help kids, is what I was getting. He may want to help kids through some type of public service. I was getting activities, like physical activities, like to stay in shape or play basketball, something like that. He may do something like a fundraiser, but it's going to be connected to religion. And I feel like this makes sense because his moon is in the 5th house. So his emotions are wrapped up with kids, because it's in 2 degrees. So he's a powerful person. His mother was probably a powerful individual as well. But again, his 2 degrees is in Leo. This speaks of children. So he wants to help them financially. So I feel like it's going to be some type of fundraiser. And I know he does things like that. But I feel like it's going to have something to do with transforming, but with beliefs, because of that Jupiter Neptune. You see that thick red line, that's what it's touching. So I think something's probably going to be in the works with this at some point. And yeah, you see this red line over here with the 11th house and the 8th house. This is talking about how he doesn't feel too comfortable bringing this 8th house, which talks about privacy, and making it public in that 11th house on the internet. With groups of people, but he does it, and he feels like he's making this sacrifice, because 20 degrees does speak of Scorpio energy. So he's literally expressing his emotions. He's putting it out there publicly, from like on a deep level, that's actually intimate and private to him. So yeah, he may be this public figure. He may be a Hollywood star, but that doesn't mean he's been sharing like things that really are intimate to him. And that's what Scorpio energy is. It's like he's literally sharing his home with us in some retrospect. So yeah. And yeah, it's like he's really shining and expressing himself at this point. You see this grand trine in air. It's like an, what is it called? Air element trine? Something like that. But there is this big blue trine, and it's connecting to his sun, Mars, and Uranus. So he's really like stepping into his purpose with, which is like this higher calling with humanity. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. All right.